That is sarcasm from Kylo Ren because the defensive tackle recruiting leaves much to be desired. Um, I saw somebody when I tweeted earlier about Cam Franklin potentially going elsewhere and said, hey, if we got David Stone, the 5-star from IMG, that would be okay. Like, yeah, I would love to have him. Sorry, had a separate tab open. My bad. I would love to get David Stone, but it would still be an epic fail, like in a vacuum of the recruitment of Cam Franklin, from how many times he's been to the resources that we put into it and all those things. That would still be a major miss. It would be the best pivot you could ever have to get David Stone to replace him. But like when you talk about stacking chips and like adding talent, wouldn't you want David Stone and Cam Franklin? And especially with a guy who's visited as much and you put as much into the recruitment as you have with Cam Franklin, that with in and of itself would not go away. It would just be a perfect recovery to get David Stone if Miami were to be able to do that. But the defensive tackle recruiting has left much to be desired. And, obviously David Stone is originally from Oklahoma. They have him number 1 overall on their board. They have not been shy about that. I've seen, videos from other creators and from other websites about that they're all in on David Stone, because the IMG guys, more often than not always, because clearly we got some from the West Coast who went to IMG last year, but it's like over half the time they go back to their home region for college, even if they play at IMG in Bradenton. So, they're like, hey, we need to have that, scenario enacted. We're getting him, David Stone, back to Oklahoma, to OU, even though he played at IMG. And yeah, if you have that and also the Cam Franklin whiff, yikes a bee in terms of defensive tackle recruiting. But, we'll see. Hopefully Joe's able to close on somebody, but it seems like a lot of also-rans, a lot of developmental 3-star guys at defensive tackle and no real game changers. And again, this class is supposed to be predicated on an elite haul along the defensive line, which was supposed to rival the offensive line recruiting from the 2023 cycle. That is 100% been the paradigm. You can see it from the visits. You can see it from the offers. You can see it from all the edits that they put out there, everything. You address the offensive line in 1 year. You get a couple defensive linemen like a Reuben Bain, like a Jaden Wayne. Great. Okay, cool. And then you're going to really look to invert that and really stack talent on the defensive line. And, we have some of the defensive end position, but defensive tackle looking a little bereft, and something got to change. We'll see what it is or when.
I also have to think that David Stone is a little bit more important to Oklahoma, at least from this perspective. There are 4 and 5 stars falling out of the trees in Florida, and in Oklahoma, I got to think they're producing 4, 5, 6, 4 and 5 stars each year in the state. Now, Oklahoma has no issues with recruiting. They had roughly a top 5 class in the nation, but they have to go outside the state. So when there is that caliber of player in the state, I would think that there would be a higher sense of urgency to keep him there.
Yeah, there would be for sure. But the big thing is there's more defensive ends in South Florida than, dudes who are, 6'4", 270, or that's what he's listed. I think that I've seen he's listed closer to 6'5", 285 right now, David Stone. So those guys don't fall off of trees in South Florida even. You know what I mean? So that is and my previous soliloquy was talking to the fact of Miami has struggled to get these bigger kind of dudes, especially in this class. So it is really foundational for both, because you have to build on the defensive line. And OU coach Brent Venables, when he was at Clemson, they were incredible. Why? Because those defensive lines, year after year after year, and still continuing, that was the foundational focus of roster building for them. right? Well, that and getting generational quarterback on top of generational quarterback, but whatever. But past that is the defensive line. So he's taking that same paradigm. So like David Stone means inordinately more to them than a Miami, but like we still need guys like that. And it looks like one of our other top targets probably not going to come here despite having been on campus more than a little bit this year. And David Stone being, you know, the other kind of top of the line guy. That recruitment is going to matter as well. But yeah.
Kyle Oren, again, thank you so much for the contribution. Apologize that we could not post that as stated, but we got it up there in that manner.